be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Yeah. I mean, you can't beat that, bro. You cannot beat that. Right. My personal feelings about the State of the Union from a citizen perspective. Overall performance, I will give it to Trump, hands down. Definitely broke records, definitely did a great job showing the strength of America, showing internal fortitude, showing resilience. And he was very calm, he was very funny. He had a lot of stand up material, in my opinion. I'm a stand up comic enthusiast. So I liked all those factors. I liked his delivery. Um, the next moments that were impactful for me, being that I'm half Venezuelan, and the Venezuelan topic was a big one for me and my family. It was an emotional moment when he was able to bring a prisoner from Venezuela to reunite with their family member at the top, who was a political prisoner, and also mentioning that Venezuela is now entering back a new era of collaboration and economics. And actually, it's one of the reasons we're considering looking at investment back in our countries right now. So that's a very grateful for that. What else? So the Venezuela emotion, the military medals, that was a big one. I could definitely see how that's going to help morale in the military and boost recruitment. And so I think overall for the country, it was a win, and it shows that this is what people want. This is what we want when we look for a leader, is someone able to deliver, someone able to and say what you want about Trump and everything, that disagreements that we have. He has definitely raised the bar so high that anyone who comes after him will have to do better or faster in terms of delivery on campaign promises. He did deliver, whether we agreed with those campaign promises or not, what side of the aisle you were on. He delivered, and so to me, that's a point for him. In terms of the other half of the House, Congress, who remains seated, that was a big tell for me. That let me know that you are willing to sit down because you're too emotional and you don't stand for anything. There were moments in there where, as a unified country, as a moment of opportunity to unify the nation and show that we're willing to stand up for term limits or stand up for immigration laws that protect American citizens, or stand up for no longer allowing insider trading in the House. There were a couple Democrats that stood up. We've noted who you were. I've already got the names. Elizabeth Warren was one, and a few other. There was this guy who stood up. I'm still trying to figure out who he was. So, with the exception of a few of you, but most of you remain seated. And I made a AOC video not too long ago where I talked about that you people have no spine. You literally have no spine. You're emotional, you're condescending, you talk down to, you see yourself as above everyone else. And that's no different than the behavior of a particular country that carries a star on their flag that we're currently debating and having issues with right now. So your behavior was very telling. And as far as my vote, an American citizen, you will never see me ever giving you support. I'm already fighting my fight. I got my issues with Trump. I call him out. I do what I need to do. I have my disagreements. But in terms of where you let me know where you are on the scale, I don't even want to see you. I want a text message from you. I don't want anything asking me for endorsement, any donation. Get away from me. You're toxic waste at this point. This message is for the Democrats. You are toxic waste for me at this point. You don't exist to me. You're dead to me, right? You may not be for your supporters. Great. Go deal with them. But as far as this individual, goodbye. in terms of the things that Trump said in there about cost of living going down, taxes going down, and energy prices going down, my wife can tell you it's not true. She handles the bills and the finances in the house. We have actually had an increase of what, like 30%, roughly, in the last 2 years. We're up 30% across the board. Yeah, there's one or two items where we have a savings, maybe with eggs, but not even with gasoline. Gasoline's been down maybe a few days at the most. But the times we ever get the gasoline down, I don't need it. And then when I do go back to the pump, I'm paying the full $3 or whatever. So that's neither here nor there for me. In terms of taxes, we're still paying the same amount of tax. In terms of property taxes, it's quadrupled, almost up five times since we've Des Moines, Iowa area to, the region. So maybe there are other parts of Iowa going through this. You leave a comment if you guys experience any of the things that Trump talked about in his speech. So if you're seeing a decrease in cost of living, a decrease in taxes, a decrease in healthcare, well, technically he said he's working on the healthcare problem still. He mentioned some website, Trump Care, where you can go and get reduced cost of some drugs or something like that. So overall, I would say great State of the Union. He wrapped it up very well, very inspirational. I felt proud to be American at the end of the speech, but it felt also kind of like corporate America. When you do a meeting in corporate America, if you've worked in corporate America, the CEO comes out and talks about all the great things the company is doing, but he doesn't really care about how the employees are doing. And in this case, it's kind of the same feeling. It was like I felt great for the company, but I really didn't feel great as an employee of America. Okay? And not to get too personal, but we have struggled quite a bit the last few years, and still continuing to struggle, but we're making it work. And who knows? Maybe it will improve at some point, but I could tell you this: we're considering moving overseas and leaving the United States to our home countries. Even though I'm a born American citizen, I hold triple citizenship in my mother's country is Venezuela, hence the Venezuelan emotion, and my wife's from Trinidad and Tobago, and I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago because my father's from Trinidad. So we're contemplating a variety of different options right now, because we don't really see a reflection of what he said in terms of cost of living, taxation, or opportunity for American citizens. And on a final note, my main beef with Donald Trump right now is the fact that a lot of things that he said he was going to stop, like the wars in the Middle East, he did say he was going to try to do it peacefully, but I didn't want another Iraq, another Afghanistan, and that money should be spent here at home. And it just seems like we're allowing a particular nation to govern us, to control our free speech, to govern our own White House, and to take money from us to run their nation and then drag us into their wars. And at this point, I don't need to name names because they own the platform. You all know who I'm talking about. So as long as that's going on. And then the last one is the Epstein files. That came out. It showed that everybody across the aisle and around the world was involved in that bullshit. So at this point, who are we really governed by, And in terms of all the profits and benefits, I think that was only felt at the highest levels, upper middle class to wealthy, the people who have assets and investments. Great for you. You guys are doing great. But for the lower income or middle income families, we're still struggling. We're still barely trying to get by. So God bless. That's my 2 cents. I hope you guys look forward to hearing how many of you all felt about it. And take care. Decoded, The Signal Within by Elite 8 AI.